Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I am Christopher Dahl. Welcome aboard to Space Art Live on Friday night. And hello, we got Edie here on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. How you doing today? Good to see you from New York City. Awesome. Very cool. I don't know who we have over on Twitch, but if you... as those of you may know, we are making the switch from Twitch over to YouTube. So welcome aboard. We're doing Wednesdays and Fridays now. Do a little live space art action, and we're working on a couple of really fun small paintings. It's a little series of 4x6-inch canvases, but I'm really enjoying the visit to some of the old paintings that I've done in the past, and maybe, adding a little touch, making them a little better. It's been fun, so thanks for joining us. If you want to follow me on social media, I am Space Art by Christopher Dahl over on Facebook, and Blackbird CD on Instagram, and whatever's left of Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, thanks for coming on board. We're going to do a fun one tonight. I actually really enjoyed Wednesday nights. It was really a cool time. Hey, from New Zealand. Hey, David, good to see you. How you doing? And Raoul Duke. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, we got a great Friday night going. As always, let me know if the music's too loud or I'm too loud. Any of the above, really. I'm getting a few red lines. I might make a little adjustment there. Speaking of music, let's kick it off, shall we? It's pretty funny. My YouTube channel keeps notifying me of the music that's used, even though it's basically all royalty-free music. So I'm just going to assume that we're A-okay. How does that sound? Although for tonight's stream, I'm really annoyed that I can't use some Queen music, because we're going to be diving into some classic science fiction, the old Flash Gordon comic strips, serials, and of course what has now since become sort of a classic movie, the 1980 Dino De Laurentiis Flash Gordon with Sam Jones. And among other actual notable actors too. Not actual, no, that's really rude. I shouldn't have said it that way. No, Sam Jones was awesome. He's and I loved him in Ted. That was awesome. That was very, very cool. Anyhow, we're going to have some fun tonight. Thanks for joining. If you like the stream, go ahead and smash the like button. I appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel already, hit the subscribe button. We do live streams every week, and we'll be having some really fun stuff getting posted very soon. Yeah, good times, everyone. Anyhow, let's move on over to the art table and see what we have. Art table. It's really more of an art easel. I have the 3 paintings we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and we're gonna do another one in this size. But yeah, that's really cool. So I have to check the time zone difference from New Zealand, by the way. Forgive me, I can't remember how much it actually is. So thank you for joining me in the morning, I suspect. Probably pretty early. All right. So let's see. The first one we did was this lovely little beast right here. It was kind of a take on Forbidden Planet, one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. Hang on, let me do a little mic adjustment here. Sorry about the squeak. So that kind of kicked it off. I mean, I loved. For those of you who don't know, I just love this canvas size. It's enough to give you kind of a fun scene and not being too terribly tiny. So I'm going to move that out of the way. The second week we did this moon landing scene with a retro vibe. I really dig this. And then last week, or last Wednesday I should say, we did this really fun sort of homage to John Berkey with a little dash of Daryl K. Sweet, if you ask me. That's just what I'm seeing in there. So that was really fun. And I've got a fresh new canvas tonight. We're gonna fire that onto the board here. Let me move the good paintings out of the way so I don't flick stars on them. Here we go. Awesome, there we are. Very cool. So the canvas, white canvas, it may be a little bright right now until I get some paint on it, but I really like these. It's got a real, really solid little frame. They're just neat, chunky little dudes, plus with a nice thick edge. So we'll be painting the edge on this one too. Okay, Flash Gordon. Gordon's alive! Now, since I use acrylic paint, I don't set my paints out on the palette till I kind of get rolling, because, of course, acrylic paints they dry fast, especially the heat that we're having here right now. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, all right. Let me pull out what we're gonna use tonight. I've got a little cart. So I've got this little cart in front of me, which is what I'm gonna be working on. I'll just keep doing that, and we'll show off the wonderful dad bod to the YouTube community, and just work on this for just a second here while I lay out my paints. Burnt umber, gonna need that. Gonna need a good blue, so we got some ultramarine blue. I am using Liquitex heavy body acrylics because that's kind of how I roll. You're welcome to use any acrylics that you happen to have if you're playing along at home. Although I'm not really sure how many people actually try to paint along with this stuff. I don't think I've gotten there yet, folks. I need to have a few more friends in the form of like squirrels and raccoons before I, really get to that level of Bob Rossness. What I'm looking for is one of my other yellows. I don't want the, oh, there it is. Never mind. Little yellow oxide. We're gonna need that. And then I'm not gonna get into the oranges quite yet, but I will need myself a brighter yellow, cadmium yellow medium. Awesome. Hey, welcome aboard, everybody. Again, if you're on Twitch, thank you for sticking around with us here. And, hop on over to where the party is, over at YouTube. Hey, Wes, how you doing? Greetings. Those are big tubes. Oh, yeah, Edie, I was, I was firing off these things for a while, and I, it's surprising how fast I used to go through this. And I actually, a couple of times I ordered the jars just to kind of keep that going. It's a little paint for that tiny, yeah, just a little. I mean, really, the quantity of this tiny one would probably just cover that. I have an embarrassment of riches in the paint department. And actually, I've got a new order ready to go. So it's there's a few colors I'm running out of. Not phthalo blue. I did stock up on that one. I use that quite a bit, as many of you know. So I got some black, got a little white here. No Twitch, no Discord, no TikTok. Oh, well, good for you. I've debated TikTok. I've thrown a few things to TikTok in the last couple of years. For a while, I was recording these, and I have to start doing it again. Time lapses of my live streams. I need to get that set up. So I did throw a few to TikTok, although I don't think they stuck. Yikes. Ha! Missed you at the summer sci-fi barbecue. Sorry, John. Couldn't make it. I've been in Pennsylvania. I hope that went well. How is Pat's Dome doing? We have a great group of people from the Pacific Northwest, the former Galaxy Hobby Sci-Fi Model Club, which is now still operating. That's really cool. Here, I'm going to grab this right out up there. Get my face back onto it. So yeah, they held their summer barbecue. I'm sorry I couldn't attend. We no longer live there. 20 people plus loads of models. Wow, that's awesome. Very cool. Is that a solid panel, please, or a masonite type panel with wooden bracing? Oh, it's basically it's stretched canvas, Edie. It's basically, these are the stringers you would get on the back of any canvas, but because it's so tiny, it ends up feeling like a brick in a good way. Greetings from a hoser that didn't make it to Wonderfest this year. Peter, now listen, mister. We gotta talk to you about that. We were missing you at Wonderfest. Hey, that's okay, pal. I made it back for the first time since 2015 myself, so hope you can make it back there. That's awesome. Hey, speaking of the models, Wonderfest and Sci-Fi Model Group from Seattle. Hey, John, I've picked up a pile of cool kits, and I'm looking forward to restarting the model live stream here, because we've got some cool stuff to work on, let me tell you. It's gonna be fun. Look like a little block of wood. It really does. It looks like a little block of wood, and I love it for that. I've painted on masonite. I've even made my own wood panels out of some really nice ply. I'm going to reach for another paint while I go through this. And honestly, I really do enjoy painting on that surface, especially when you get it nice and smooth. You can really get some good illustration work done on it. Raw Sienna, there we go, the Raw Sienna. Hey Iridium, how you doing? Can't get YouTube chat to work. Back on Twitch for now. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that, Iridium. Anyhow, let me get back there. Anyhow, that's curious, Iridium. Chat doesn't want to work. That's very, very weird. Sorry. I'm happy to dig into that a little bit later, Iridium. You want to send me a note on Discord? That'd be really cool. Cool. And who else is there? Hi, Kid, over there on the Twitch. Greetings, everybody. For those of you that don't know, I am in the process. We're in the process of moving the live stream over to YouTube. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with that move so far. Maybe I'll get your Moya done just next year. Hey, don't feel bad about that one, Peter. I actually, I don't even own a finished one anymore. Years ago, I sold them all. It was, it's really sad. Oh, that was the wrong, darn it. Mars Black. Hold on a second, folks. Gotta find more paint. Burnt Sienna. I just squeezed out. I squeezed out more paint than I need. Let's put it this way. As was previously noted, and of the wrong variety. I really love the really smooth, high gloss finish you can get on a panel. Oh, me too. 100%. I actually have some, now that you mention it, I think I even have some in my stores over here. I have some about this size that Richardson made. Some of my favorite paintings I did encasing on them, and it was really wonderful. Oh, what's a Moya, please? Ah, yes. Hang tight. Hold on a second here. Let's take a second. Oh, by the way, there's the Dollhouse Actual Webs Katina, the Dollhouse Actual, home of our lovely cat rescue, which is pretty cool. I'm restarting Cloudbot here just to see if I can get it to actually work on the YouTube while I do this. There we go. So, over to where? I have to find it now. Bear with me. I'm going to search on my own website. So, from the TV show Farscape, Moya from Farscape. Yeah, here we go. Moya was a living spacecraft in the show Farscape, and Edie, nobody at the time. I really liked the show, and nobody was actually. So here's this ship I made. No one was making a model kit of this thing, and it was what 2003, 2004. So I decided I'd just go ahead and make my own kit. This is about a 16-inch long resin model, hollow on the inside. The idea is that this was a living spacecraft that the crew in the show were on. It was effectively a character, although it didn't really speak as much. But I just thought it was a really cool, organic design, and nobody had done a model kit of this thing. So I just, cracked my knuckles, knocked out a sculpture, and a crazy set of molds, and for a while I was selling resin copies of them. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Testing. There you go. I see you, Iridium. Yeah. Hey, greetings. We got you, pal. Thanks for swinging back on over. Yeah. Never seen. Some of Farscape holds up pretty well. I have to admit, it was some of it feels a little dated, but that's just that's okay. That's quite all right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. That kit got me a, I think I got a bronze for that. I just got a bronze. Freaking Wonderfest judges, I tell ya. Full disclosure, I was a Wonderfest judge for a number of years. So my favorite thing to do then is just to annoy the judges. Cool. So, yeah. I'm going to get some, while we're doing this, I'm going to get some yellow on this canvas, and I'll do it on the sides and everything here, too. Very fun. Just want some water out here. Ba-ba-da! So the funny part to this story of the What's a Moya Farscape is a Jim Henson production. And Jim Henson, at the time, had just been purchased by the giant mouse, Walt Disney. So, hey, Clendrop, I see you over there on Twitch. How you doing? Hey, greetings. Welcome aboard tonight. We're just getting rolling. So anyway, Jim Henson Productions, now under the ownership of the Big Mouse, Walt, the Disney Company, said as if you were watching a movie trailer from 1982 in a world gone wrong. So, so Disney and Jim Henson Productions, they don't, Moya is a Disney princess. Oh, 100%, yes, 100%. And so is Claudia Black's character too. I was and Gigi Edgley and oh my gosh, Virginia Hay, who plays Pau Atu Zan, was a great character. Fantastic show. Really great characters, cool ship designs, cool alien designs, which suspiciously took on the appearance of other Jim Henson characters, like maybe Skeksis. I was just laughing with Cassie Rhodes about this, how it's like, well, everything looked like a Skeksis. I love it. So here I am on my merry way, going to Wonderfest, showing off my cool model, and it was really kind of I had fun with that. It was really a good time. After selling a few of them, and I kind of partnered with Federation Models, who was better equipped to cast these things than I was. I kind of worked with him on it. We both collectively received a nice note from the lawyer department. Well, the Jim Henson legal department, I should say, saying, hey, we see that you're selling model kits of Moya from our show Farscape. We'd like to ask you to stop. In fact, they weren't really asking. They were telling, basically, is what happened. So, being the entrepreneur that I was, and the fact that I'm adding some white here. I want a little bit of a lighter section here. I'm going to work it up with some white. And it's going to pale it out. Being an entrepreneur, I thought, well, this is an interesting, it's not really a roadblock, right? It's just like, hey, someone out there said, we noticed you were doing some models of my kits. So I actually, an insane thing that nobody else has done when they receive a cease and desist order, usually just go underground and stop doing what you're doing. I actually got the phone number to the legal department. Well, it wasn't a department, it was an agency. So they'd hired a law firm is what it was. And this law firm was just out, running the gun for Jim Henson Productions. So I called them. And I actually I think I got like the assistant or one of the people that was in the department and was aware of my, the letter. And they're like, oh, yeah, we sent this out like a week ago. I'm like, yes. I said, my question to you is, I'll stop selling kits, of course. What can I do to, copyright infringement, exactly. Copyright infringement. Hello, Rhonda, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. Love the pumpkin painting, Rhonda. That was really cool. Thank you. Recounting my story of Jim Henson. So anyway, after talking with it, they were very cool. They're like, yeah, that's just, we don't have anything in the pipeline that's a kit like that, but, it's our show, so their show. And I said, well, great. Well, why don't you put me in touch with somebody who I could talk to about licensing? And she kind of laughed. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, I guess I'm a funny guy, I guess. And fringe copyright. Yeah, fringe and copyrightment. So she says, well, we're no longer actually the legal entity for Jim Henson anymore. So sorry, we can't really help you. I don't know where to send you. And I'm like, what? That just like happened in a week. Hey, Electric Elf! Music, hello. How are you doing tonight? Oh, you love the yellow already. Thank you. Awesome. So I thought, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I was responsible. I was respectful. I said, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the right thing here. I'm going to find out at best of my ability, what happens if I do this for real. I mean, there was a number of ways I could have gone about it, right? Licensing a production kit of some kind. I'd already met a number of people in the model community. Some of them actually were, even at the time. I mean, Dave Metzner, I knew him at the time. I would just met Frank Winsper of Mobius Models, and that's another. I love the kits he's done. I totally would have worked with any of them and just go, yeah, let's organize it. Let's get a kit going. I've got a prototype, right? I mean, I had the damn thing done. It would just be a matter of, the money for engineering and licensing. Wes says, quick, steal the copyright. Well, so that's basically what we did. Instead of doing the right thing, we just waited about 6 months or so and quietly started selling them again. The proper thing to do, right? All right, so while I'm yapping about this, I'm just going ahead and I'm throwing in some happy little clouds. So yeah, just some indications here, and I'm doing it with just a slightly lighter or darker yellow. And we're gonna just work this up slow till we get to really cool spaceship parts. So yeah, and I'm trying not to just make this a round thing, right? I mean, because clouds are what do you say? The clouds are cloudy. Yeah, that's what they are. Exactly. All right. Brilliant, Chris. Absolutely brilliant. So anyhow, let's get that one in there. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to try to... This is where you get the paint on your hands a lot, honestly. I'm going to just go ahead and try to get some cloud action on the side here. Just make it look like I almost was doing something over here. Now, we'll make this pretty. We will make this very pretty. We will give it its own thing. So when you're looking at this painting, you'll get kind of a nice 3D. I just like it. You can hang them without them having like a frame or anything. I mean, it's probably not ideal, but this is the bottom now, so I'm going to throw some on here, even though it's just kind of... I always have to touch up the bottoms on these because honestly, they sit on the wood on the easel here, and then they just kind of do their thing. Ba-ba-da. Anyhow, clouds are very fluffy. Let's get this side. I'm peeking over the top here to sort of see if I can't get a matchup of all of this. And I am actually working pretty subtle, and it is pretty bright with the yellow, but it's gonna be fun. Oh wait, I need to be a little bit more fluffy here, right? A little bit more like that. And then on the top here, we've got kind of this edge over here. So let's get some, as if this is just kind of a overhanging storm system of some kind. And then we'll carry that down over there. I'm trying to get the paint out so I can just sort of... Maybe I'll just grab some of this. There we go. Yeah. Mix that on in. Little yellow on here. I'm hoping I'm keeping this camera. If I'm not, I apologize. We'll settle back down here a little bit. All right. Enough of the sides, right? Enough of the sides. Oh, it is getting a little bit of a glare, though. That's a little unfortunate. Let me see if I can do something about that. There we go. Okay. Now I kind of want to darken some of the edges on these. I should probably go to a smaller brush. But let me just see what I can do here. Ah, oh boy, it wasn't he jumped on me. Gotta watch out for the paintings, everybody. They they're active. All right, I'm gonna switch brushes. Let me clean this one out here real quick. Hey, thanks everybody for joining again. I appreciate it. For those of you that are on Twitch, hey, greetings. Come on over to YouTube. I'm Space Art by Christopher Dahl over on YouTube. We're running live here as well. Anyhow, all right, there we go. I'm gonna set that aside. Where's my round? Yeah, I've got a nice little round filbert here. I like the filbert, especially working on the clouds thing. I'm just gonna move on in here. Oh, yes, of course. I almost completely forgot. Oh my gosh. I didn't have Dick here to remind me. The drink of choice tonight on our fine Space Art by Christopher Dahl mug. This is not merchandise. This is literally just a grocery store tumbler that I threw some stickers on. Here, cheers. Sparkling water. It's been too hot to drink. It's been too hot to drink. Oh my gosh! No, there's a lot of fire, a lot of irons in the fire here at the Space Art by Christopher Dahl Studios. We've got some fun things going on, and I hope that you're all excited as much as I am. So yeah, heavy water. Yes, exactly. It's part of our heavy water experiments. Sparkling water, you lush. Oh, hey, Wes, I'm sorry about the long technical question I sent you on Discord. I didn't mean to add to your workload this week. You were just the first person I thought I'd shoot the question to. Yeah, deuterium, right? Yes, Swami's IPA. Yay! That sounds good. Yeah, we need some extra beers in the house. I think that's going to have to be a thing. So, yeah. How many sparkles are destroyed to make that water? Millions! And each was a little microcosm of a civilization that was set up to power us. Oh, no. Oh, that's okay, Wes. No rush. So, I am in the process, everyone, of... I've been kind of diving into Blender. Honestly, Wes, I sent it off, and then I thought, oh my god, you've been just telling us about how crazy busy you've been, and I felt terrible. I'm like, whoa, that's the last thing you need, is like a, hey, technical question. So yeah, no rush. But I've been finding, I've had this collection of 3D models that were either used in TV shows, that were gifted to me by people that shouldn't have had them, which is fine because, I'm not going to do anything with them anyway. But, beer, yuck. Oh, a slice. Ooh, a slice from New York City. Ah, I'm instantly jealous. I'm gonna turn this around. Yeah, it's... The problem is anyway, spaceships in Blender. Some people in the past have done a very good job of building some of my most favorite spacecraft, including the Refit Enterprise from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I mean, I haven't modeled that particular ship myself since about 1994, and to say that it was low poly would actually be a very accurate statement. In fact, at the time, that had no polygons. It was all wireframe. It was hilarious. Anyway, I digress. So, I had some fan-made meshes of this ship. But, they're always made in other software packages. So when you try to import them into something like Blender, they just look blah. They look terrible. They're hating life. They really were. So, yeah. It honestly, Wes, I think the ultimate question might be, or ultimate answer might be, yeah, it's just a shit sandwich. Use it as a reference and make your own. I think that's what the answer is going to be. I'm trying to get some extra the darker bits. I won't do everything on the side like this, except in sweeps. But I felt like because there are clouds, I might stop and add some tone. There we go. I just want to get a little bit of that up there. Anyhow, okay. So I have some really rough clouds. But you're wondering what's the deal with the clouds? Why would there be clouds? It's all for the theme of the night. Well, I don't even know what I'm going to do yet, so I'm going to do something dangerous and untried. I'm going to go with some magenta. God forbid, magenta on yellow. This will be exciting. Rhino 3D is good at converting meshes. 3 months free. Oh, that's cool. Right? I forgot about that. Hey, Brad Paris. Good to see you, pal. How you doing? Look at Mr. Rich. Clendrop on Twitch says, look at Mr. Rich and his sparkling water. Exactly. Might just be making sure the materials conform to Blender's requirements. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the case. I think at the very least I'm probably going to be rebuilding all the materials by hand, which is fine. I can do. I'm happy to sit and do that. My biggest concern was that maybe I was missing something fundamentally. I'm kind of getting back into this, so you know, I just didn't want to. I'm finding that I have to relearn so many things that sometimes I forget. So thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. And I do hope that that the job gets a little less busy for you here soon. I know it's been a lot. So I'm gonna try modifying the colors here. Edie says, I'm so sick of Star Wars and Star Trek. All that money, all those hundreds of millions of dollars, just give it the same old over and over again. You know, as much as I still adore Star Trek, and I always will, I do have to agree with you on this one, Edie. I've been having more fun watching sci-fi shows and movies that didn't really have a thing to it. Blackbird CD. I haven't tried it enough. Okay, very cool. So I didn't see the link there, Clendrop, over on Twitch. It didn't. It dropped your link on my chat. Sorry. Where's I going with this? Yeah, the new shows. So, for instance, I've actually rather enjoyed, like, when I come back to a movie, I've been going to the ones that were sort of standalones. Interstellar. I didn't expect to end up liking Interstellar as much as I did, and it's become one of my go-to. You know, I need to watch a science fiction show. I'm gonna watch Interstellar. You know. And I'm running out of newer ones, so that's a problem. That's a real issue. Oh, it's an enterprise model on Sketchfab. Okay, cool. Thank you, Clendrop. I appreciate it. Yeah, I will tell you this. I am super picky about my Starship models. So, yeah. There's literally one I've seen in the ether around for this particular Enterprise that I really like, and it's the one that I'm probably gonna have to rebuild from scratch. That's okay. It makes you learn. Besides, when you build it from scratch, you have a lot more chance to kind of correct issues, right? Bum ba dum bum ba da bum ba. All right, I wanted a little hint. I wanted to get some purples in there, and I think I succeeded. We'll see how this settles. And then some. I'm gonna kind of dash this into some orange here, because we really need that. I think. Yeah. Here we go. Whoops. Sorry about that. Stopping by to say what's up. Rafi was here. Hey, Rafi, how you doing? We're up. There we go. Ta-da-da. I mean, I have one, but it'll melt your computer into slag. Is it good, Russ? Is it a good one? That's cool. Awesome. Bum-ba-dum. I'm done in about 4 weeks and taking a month off. Oh, good for you. Yeah, that's awesome. Seriously. if you have any really, sorry, if you have any you're really picky about, you can give it to me. You know, oh yeah, thank you. No, we're actually referring to actual the 3D models, like the ones that you could use in Blender, Lightwave, and that sort of thing. It's got a few issues and no surfacing, Wes says. Well, I tell you, Wes, on my newer machine, I was able to open the big Kahuna BSG 75 model you had there from Zoic, the one that has all the battle damage and everything, and it ate it just fine. So, oh, Gary, okay, so Gary gave you the inside. Oh, awesome! I like Gary a lot. I actually said hi to him again this year at a couple of times at Wonderfest. That's very cool. Yeah, so the 3D ones, I'm doing dangerous things with the 3D, everybody. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm working in some of this magenta, some of these pinks, and I know I'm working this up slowly, but I want the, I really want the complexity of color as we go. Yeah, computers have come along since 2002. Yeah. I found one of my backups, Wes, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me see if it'll at least open that file. Opened it just fine. I was rather shocked, and I can mess around with it. Unlike my 2013 era workstation that just choked. It was like, nope, ain't gonna happen. Thank you, Rafi. I appreciate it. Remember they used my saucer and a couple of other parts for the... Oh, they did, Wes. Oh, I didn't realize that. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I dropped my brush again. I feel like this is now becoming my new weekly live stream thing on YouTube. I drop my brush on the floor and gets horrible. Any of you guys have the pleasure of owning Mechanismo by Harry Harrison? I do not have that, actually. Speaking of the actual physical model kits, John Morell, yeah, you said you've got some of those 1/350th kits. That's awesome. I have about 3 of the physical model kits. And yeah, Wes, that's really cool. I might have known that you worked on that kit. I can't recall. I couldn't recall. Sorry about that. Wes, what happened with the planetary sensor on the underside of the saucer? It's terrible. That's the only part of the kit maybe the impulse deck. I think those are my only 2 like nits with that kit. I did build that once, as John Morell just stated earlier, for a local hobby shop back in Linwood, our hobby shop, if you will. All right, I'm gonna pop this over here. I'm gonna get some of this magenta in here while we're talking. So I have built the kit once. It's what do you think? And honestly, it was a fun build, but I didn't do the lights, and I didn't do like all the Aztecing. I made a solid paint job. It was actually, I thought it was a fun paint job for not doing all the crazy details, and it still ended up working well. So yeah. Bum ba-dum bum bum. By the way, Cassie said they may have a place to get a good deal on a 3D printer. Ooh, very cool. Yeah, to keep me up to date on that one, Rafi. I've got a couple of options on them here too, and I'm happy to help out. I'm not sure. The only part of my model that's not great are the Bassard. Oh no, the Bassards. John says the impulse deck is off. Oh, didn't they knock it over? Yes. The 1/350th Enterprise model I built was knocked over in the shop, fell on the floor, saucer broke off. The previous owner's like, I'm gonna fix it. Yeah, I don't think you ever fixed it. Stores that sell model airplanes, cars must be a dying breed because I can't find any. You know, honestly, they are, and it's actually kind of sad, Edie. The one, our shop out in Linwood, was really cool. It was run by people that really enjoyed, really multiple hobbies. And they hosted a couple of different, they hosted a couple of different clubs, like an RC club, trains, military. They had a bunch of them, and we, of course, were the sci-fi geeks, which was fine. It was cool. I really liked it. But I do miss walking into an actual hobby shop. It's just getting to be so expensive to run brick and mortars anymore, and you know, they're just kind of getting killed by the ability to shop online, and that's just, you know, that's just the way it's gone, unfortunately. Oh man, I'm trying to go down the 3D printer rabbit hole on YouTube. My wallet is on fire. So yeah, yeah. Klendrop over on Twitch says, I had to look it up. Lightwave does still exist. Yes, it does. Lightwave. It's not dead yet. I didn't want to go back on the cart. Andy's Hobby Headquarters. Oh, cool. Bum, 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 bum. I'm gotta run. You're spending the day being tech support. Hey, thanks, Rafi. Thanks for stopping by. Have a happy Friday. But yeah, the 3D printers they're a little dicey. I love them as a concept, but like everything else, it is a process. Well, it's in the name, right? Printers. It's a process to set them up and learn, really. So yeah. Lightwave was bought by a new group and is being redeveloped. Are they doing a good job? That's the big question. Thanks, Roppy. Have a good night. Cheers. We'll see you soon, okay? All right. Well, my clouds are getting laid in with some good detail. Kind of liking that so far. Let me take a second and work the back a little bit. I wanted a light Hansa yellow. Hansel? So I have a good friend of mine back in Washington, Joe Graziano. He goes by Faust on many platforms, and he got himself set up with. He's got a nice setup for 3D printing. He's the one that laser cut my Saturn rings for my Saturn models. He actually gifted me a small one. Unfortunately, it's in Michigan, which I'm hoping to get here real soon. What I like about 3D printing is, well, I mean, it's freaking cool. You get 3D prints. How cool is that? Little nod to Dan Morell there. Yes. How cool is that? They're very cool. I worked with my uncle Greg McDonald. He's an architect. It was a while ago, and we were working with the filament style printers. We got a few things, but it was really tricky at the time. It was very what's the word I'm looking for? It was really early, honestly, and they had a decent one, but we ran into a couple of difficulties with it that just never really got resolved, and it was a little frustrating. So you will spend a lot of time. That learning curve is real. Let's put it that way. The learning curve is very real. And then when you get into the resin printers, I like how they work, but it's a god awful mess. I'm gonna tell you. They've really come a long way. Check out Bamboo. Oh, Bamboo's awesome. I want to get a. I actually want to get a filament printer that does fairly large sizes, but I also I forget which. I can't remember which is the one that Joe gave me. It's a little Elgu, I think it is. Just a little one. But it was really neat. I was just getting used to how to run it before we moved, and I had to pack it all away. So yeah, but it's fun. I not gonna lie, it is a lot of fun. Now that I'm playing with Blender, I am interested in again going down this path because I have a couple of parts I want to print for my new models. And in fact, if I can print a new planetary sensor for my Enterprise refit models, I will do that. The one model I just sent you, Wes, has a pretty nice shape, but it's really kind of almost low poly, like mid to low. Okay, so I'm adding some cloud shapes, some detail in the yellow with some white. And I wouldn't do that. We're not going to leave it white, but I wanted to do was brighten it up a little bit so I could come over it in a minute with a different yellow. And we'll get some nice effects here. Yeah, Soval makes some nice large size printers. Yeah, they really do. That's kind of like I want to sort of do I kind of want to do big models, and I think that's really the way to go. I mean, sure, you can do them with Anycubic, or really the larger resin ones, of course. And my pal Joe, I was telling you about, 2 of his printers, I think he printed a full-scale wolf's skull for an artist, a friend of his, who paints very gothic, what do you call them, still life scenes. I was blown away. I went to his house one night. I'm like, holy shit, you've got a whole wolf head you just printed. It was wolf skull, I should say. It was crazy. It was very, very cool. So he's got a pretty good size one, and this has been my year. I'm like, what am I going to print? I don't know. I haven't been able to sit and work on anything, and now I'm kind of getting there. I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm ready to start. We're doing the creative stuff, people. We really are. Alrighty. I gotta be honest with you, as I'm painting through this, these yellows, these bright colors are not my wheelhouse. And so I sometimes struggle and I deliberate a little bit more. You're probably gonna see me doing a little more back and forth on these because I don't paint in pastels. And this is an area that I'm trying to sort of, improve on, if you will. Oh, and you want to print print engineering components. Yes, exactly. Like, I would like to print in ABS or something similar. Some nice core pieces for bigger models. I don't know if I really want to go down the path of welding brass for model armatures, but I'll do it. I really will. Okay. This is the second time I've dropped the brush. Darn brush. Hold on to your darn brush, Chris. Mr. Doll. Yay. Oh, boy. All right. I don't think we have enough Mongo and Ming in this one yet. So let's go back to the pink while I'm letting my yellows do their thing. And I'm going to just kind of throw this on in. There we go. I'm going to pink this up a little bit. Tape! Tape? Yeah. There we go. I want to throw that in, and then a... Do-do-do-do-do. Let me set this. I need to tape my brush to my darn hand is what I need to do. I need a lanyard. I need a lanyard on every one of these things. Just wanted to kind of brush that in, give it a little... I'm not so sure if I like how the pink parts are going. Yeah, I don't like how the pink parts are working yet. It's a terrible way to say that, but, it's accurate. All right, I need a little bit of touch of this over here, too. So we'll get that side. All right. So, yeah, we're going to explore. I am also working up the background on this one before I do any crazy retro sci-fi looking ships, right? So I'm going to get in some pinks in here. I'm going to be like on that side. Oh, no. A little more water. There we go. There we go. At least it actually gives me a little Not enough paint to do that. Ugh, ABS is such a pain dimensionally. Oh, is it really? I can't. There's the nice thing is there are filaments that are more durable. I think long term, possibly. I could be wrong about that. There was an interesting discussion at Wonderfest with a couple of people that are actual a couple of them are vendors, a couple of them are sort of just in the know, and we were all like actively wondering what's the lifespan of something. Like if I print something today, how old or how long will this go before it starts just melting into a gelatinous pile of goo? And I think it's a fair question, and it's one that people probably should start investigating, or if they haven't already. But the only way you can really know, unfortunately, is to just kind of wait it out. You gotta just sort of see how it goes. All right, I'm working my way into some blue. A little blue getting added to the action here. I need a better surface for these things because I keep losing it down here. Oh, too much. That's okay. We'll work it on in. Anyway, what was I rambling about? Okay, 3D printing. Anyway, yes. So very cool. Another little rabbit hole I went down. Tertiary to this, to the printing thing, is I noticed that there are people out there who are using 3D prints to do, metal pouring. So like you could cast, either aluminum or copper, what have you, and it's and they're using 3D prints to do it, like as your main form. So you do like the kind of like lost wax sand casting, right? And they're having some really some people are making some really cool things with it. So to a certain degree, I'm kind of like, yeah, oh yeah, bring it. I don't have the capacity or the ability yet to to do that kind of sophisticated metalsmithing, but we'll get there. We'll all get there together, right? PLA is about 10 years. I think that's a good estimate. Yeah, that would be about my guess, although it also depends on how much UV you expose it to and yada, yada, yada. I know that's all going to be a pretty active part of the equation, right? Okay, so I'm going to just kind of start working some of these clouds over a little bit. There we go. That's a little weird. I want a little darker than that, I think, actually. Clouds are so cloudy, right? This may be the wrong way to go with it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, that was probably the wrong way to go with the clouds. Bummer. All right. Well, we'll just go over that again in a second. Just gonna get another color. So anyway, I don't know what I got on this. Forgive me, everybody. I'm just letting the brain go fallow for a minute. I'm gonna brown those back up a bit. We're gonna do the same up here. I kind of almost want like a glaze on these clouds, just to sort of bring it all in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, a little better here. Getting it. Getting it. There we go. Okay. No, I'm ladies and gentlemen, I'm messing up the clouds, my face a little bit, I'm afraid. All right, here we go. Ba, ba, da, ba. I think I'm going to let this front dry, and I'm going to work this bad boy with a few more of these crazy colors and a little touch of this blue. So what I'm trying to do here is, if any of you remember the Flash Gordon movie from 1980, they did this crazy cloud tank effect for the surface of Mongo. It was really just a bunch of colors and clouds. It didn't look like any particular sky. It was very cool, but it was also like, it was shorthand, right? It was visual shorthand, and cheap AF, so Dino loved it. I'm going to badmouth him as much as I can. He's dead. No, I'm sorry. No. It's a well-known fact that Dino De Laurentiis was a little bit, he'd try to keep it. He would do big budget, but he would also, like, keep things pretty cheap. So, no surprises, no shocks. No harm, no foul, right? There we go. Let's get that down in there. All right. Now, I want to go back over this with that yellow. Let me clean off my brush. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-bum. So anyhow, I've been having some fun with Blender. And I'm probably... I'm going to be putting some of that, some of the project work up on my Patreon page. I don't mean to turn this into a commercial, but... I didn't really keep my Patreon page going very well during the transition and my move. And for those of you that were on there, I'm sorry if I didn't really post much. There are gifts going out to the few people who actually stuck around in spite of me basically not doing any posts for like a year. So anyway... I am going to be doing more, we're going to be doing a little more outreach on the Patreon, so if you're inclined, you're welcome to join. There's a link in the description. I, as always, would be thrilled to have people see what we're working on. Yeah, PLA stands for polylactic acid. Yeah, it's a starch is what it is. What they were, originally, it's what they were using for recycled... I think they still do. I think that's what they were using for recycled, not recycled, compostable servingware, so plasticware and stuff like that, right? Yeah. I mean, it's actually, it's a good plastic for your quick prototypes. It actually plays nicely with most printers, but it doesn't have good longevity. It's terrible to work with. I don't like machining and sanding that stuff. I mean, really the best thing you do is get the best print you can and just start slathering on primer, and so you actually have a surface that will sand properly. Yeah. Wow, this is kind of fun. I don't really know where I'm going with this painting, but I'm having a blast painting the background. Oh yeah, I think Edie, I think you asked the other night, is there something I like painting other than spaceships? And yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. I like painting sunsets. I don't do it enough. I need to paint more. But this one qualifies, I think, doesn't it? This is a sunset. Yeah, exactly. Up. So the paint we first put down is just getting dry enough where I can start abusing it, which is really fun. So yeah, that's where we're really gonna get it here. There we go. I've heard that glass-filled ABS is pretty dimensionally stable. Oh, cool, awesome. Yeah, there's my pal Joe and I were prototyping a couple of things here in the next month, and you'll be seeing some of it soon. Actually, oh, I almost had drop number 3 of my brush. Yikes! We were gonna. What was the one that he was really worried about? Oh yeah. Transparent printing plastic. Transparent plastics are a little dicey. I think they need extra cure time, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, you're already curing them a bunch anyway, but I mean, not just UV time. Oh yeah, that's the other thing with the stereolithography prints. You do have to have your UV. You have to have a UV station to finish the cure. Sorry, I'm looking for a paint here, everybody. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go face down. Oh my gosh. That's it. Somebody stole the orange. Oh, it's over here. There it is. It was right where I left it. Anyway, so when you do one of those prints, you pull it out, you wash it off in a bath of isopropyl alcohol, which is insane, but cool. And then, yeah, you UV run it. And then the clear stuff, of course, you actually have to do the extra step. I think you've got to, basically let them sit in the hot sunlight is one way of doing it. Yeah, so anyway, so there's a process. Not that it's a problem or anything. It's just, it's a lot. So I've got some cadmium orange now, and I'm going to come in and see if I can't... I mean, here I am griping, right? I mean, I would love to. I would absolutely love to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope we get into this, so yeah. I just get frustrated because I want everything to be working properly now, and it never is. You always have to, practice and stuff. You have to learn new things. I just want to know how to do it, right? I just want to know how to do it. So annoying. It has literally taken me about 3 years to get to a point where I am reasonably comfortable with Blender, that I have some confidence in just some of on the most basic level, right? I've been out of the game for so long that it's been kind of like the whole game has changed. The environment for 3D work is completely different. I have no illusions of getting a job doing anything with it. I just want to do it for my own benefit. I want to work with it. I want to do some 3D animations. I want to use it for production here. I want to do some freaking movies. I want to do short movies and cartoons. Yes, we do. We will be doing all of this. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this down here. I think I just grabbed a wet part of the painting. I kind of feel bad, but that's okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm going to darken up some of this. True, it is better. Wears out. Wait a second. True, it is better, but it wears out the hot end tip fast unless you get a ruby tip. Yeah. You feel a Cloud City. I know, right? Oh my gosh, Wes. You realize Flash Gordon had a Cloud City, right? Ooh. 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 I love you all in chat. You guys are awesome. Guys and ladies, I use the term non-gender specific, so bear with me and forgive me if I've offended. It was not intentional. I'm just old and stupid. Okay, there we go. Yeah, little Art Deco-y Cloud City up there, right? Oh man, hello. But I do think you're right, Wes. I think I need to settle down at some night and do a Cloud City painting. I think that would be, yeah, I think that's going to be good. Ooh, I love that scene. Cartoon idea, Peter says. Misadventures in the Cat Refuge. Oh my gosh! I can't wait to show you what we're working on. I have two... Let me set this here for a second. I'm going to grab some water, too. Oh my gosh, it got really warm. Ah! Sorry, I was sweating, actually, right there. There we go. So I have some character designs that I've been working on, and some of you have seen my characters before. We have kind of two flavors that I'm working on right now. One of them is our wonderful Dollhouse Girl, which I that's been my favorite part of the graphic side of Dollhouse Baked Goods going way back. It's the Dollhouse character. So we're looking at something like that. We had cards, we had all that fun stuff, and I'm going to be posting about it soon. Yeah, no sweating. You got this. Right. There's no sweating in art. Are you kidding me? My gosh, I'm in the coldest part of the house. I'm in the basement, and it's still like almost 80. The humidity is very low down here, but the heat's definitely up. And honestly, my lights don't put out a lot of heat, which is really great. Anyhow, so and then the other one, yeah, yeah, I love the Dollhouse people. Thank you. I do. It just reaches something inside. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining again. I'm Christopher Dahl, and we're at Space Art by Christopher Dahl for our live Friday night. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. I appreciate it. Hey, if you like the live stream, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be notified when I come back online. Excellent. So we're back with our painting here. Thank you. I just needed to take a quick break. It was I didn't even realize where the time was going. I'm having this much fun. Hey, it's awesome. I'm thrilled. It's been a blast. This painting has been fun. Seriously. Okay. So let's see. Next up, bonk. Heading on over to the painting there. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do. Originally, I was gonna do kind of two sort of classic retro 1930s Art Deco-y rockets. But I think instead, I'm going to do one of those, and then I'm going to do King Vultan's Sky City. Yes! Because Flash Gordon was definitely the first to do the Sky City idea. So, Wes, it's all your fault, damn it, Wes. Thank you. All right, here we go. I've got like a grayish brown mixed up, so I'm gonna put in the city here first. Let's see, happy little floating city. I think we're gonna put it up here, so it's kind of like a nice round platform. What was the one in? Sorry, Edie. We're bringing up old Star Trek again. I appreciate you hating the show, but or not hating it, but just being sick of it. But I always come back to it. All right. So what was it? Scalos? Was that the one in the third season? That was a the city in the sky. Yes. Anyhow. So yeah, we're gonna put this platform. I'm imagining that we're looking at it, kind of sideways. So it's a big city, folks, and there's gonna be like tall towers. Think Emerald City, Wizard of Oz, right? So that kind of thing. I need more. I'll need more water. More water, officer. All right, here we go. The Cloud Minders, yes. Actually, that's one of my favorite episodes of the third season, honestly. And on my last rewatch, I was like, oh, it's kind of fun. But that was a tacky blue. It really was. Oh, man, it was really bad, right? But isn't it the first time someone actually used a satellite photo of the Earth in, like, a TV show? Because they actually... Like when I think one of the miners flings himself over the edge, in a fit. He's been caught as a troublemaker. I forget what the words were for it. Yes, but anyway, yeah. Jumps over the edge, falls to his death, and it's like a big valley shot. Okay, and then we're going to have a couple of buildings on this side that sort of stick off the platform and come down a little bit. So we'll have a couple of those. There we go. The buildings, or the city's far away, everyone. So the cool thing here is that because it's far away, I don't have to paint a ton of detail. Isn't that lovely? No, it isn't. I love the small paintings because you can kind of pull off a little, you can kind of pull off a whole scene in one setting. Although that little one got a little gross, so we're just going to work that in. There we go. Okay, cool. I think that's a fun city. The colors are now reminding me of that one cool matte painting in Fifth Element when they, they do the long shot of the remains of New York. Not that this is as good as that. That thing's freaking awesome. Yeah, kudos to the artist on that one because that was very cool. It's just the colors are reminding me of it. So yeah. Okay. So we got a good shape up there. And does it extend? Is it a big city? Does it extend beyond the clouds? Nah, we're just gonna leave it floating there for now. All right, let me get a gonna get the rocket ship in here. It's kind of gonna be like creeping up on the city here, because maybe this is like, yeah, spy. There we go. The concrete in my brain is dry. Well, you need to loosen that up there, Raoul Duke, with a little beer or something. No learning is possible anymore. Nah, it's all good. You can pick it all up. You got this. You got this. I promise. The problem is if I put a ship down here, I have to like cover up this killer cloud. So maybe I just have to like really work on my ship so that it doesn't completely. Not rule of thirds. Rule of thirds. Just do it. Okay. I don't consider the rule of thirds like an unbreakable law here, folks. It's my shorthand for what is going on in my brain. So let's get a rocket ship body in here. It's a terrible way to do this. That's okay. Beer's 100% in your future. Listen, mister, the fact that you're not having it in your presence right now tells me that you're not really committed to this. I don't know if you really have thought this through. I'm kidding. I really don't want to make light of people that struggle with alcohol, because it's a nasty thing. But God damn it, I want a beer. No, I'm just kidding. There, I just lost sponsorship of some kind. Okay, so this is like gonna be. What's okay? War Rocket Ajax. That's what it was. So you know, long, skinny, phallic-shaped rocket ship. I'm sorry that it's just the era. Okay, I'm honoring the era, people. This is what we're doing here. Okay, don't. Sometimes a rocket ship is just a rocket ship. I struggle with alcohol. Sometimes I'm too drunk to open another bottle of wine. See, now, those are exactly the kinds of problems that a lot of people struggle with. And, you know, we don't want to make light of that. Vodka martini dissolves brain concrete. Yes. It sure does! No. Da, 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 da. No, it's not enough. Sometimes an eggplant is just an eggplant, no matter the emoji. All right. So we got to give this bad boy some wings, right? And it can't be like just little deltas. This is like got to be some serious wing action. Thankfully, I've been watching a lot of DCS lately. DCS is a game. It's a flight simulator, military flight simulator, basically, and a really good one, where you watch dogfights. The reason why I mention this is just because I really like jet airplanes, and they're very cool looking. So yeah. Anyway, so I've done some foreshortening here. So we're looking at this little lump that I did on the top. That's the other. That's the other wing, and the wing is going to have like a little rockety thing on it too, but I just want to get the shapes in first. DCS is hardcore. You know, I really want to try it, Raoul Duke. I actually picked up a joystick, a really nice flight stick, just because so many games require it that I'm interested in looking into in the next X number of years or so. Now, this is the top fin. So we've kind of got top fin going and side fin. I'm going to have to make sure I remember this, okay? There we go. But yeah, DCS is pretty cool. I was first intrigued because somebody had... I just was looking up airplanes, and I was looking up the old World War II airplane, the Corsair, and apparently they've released all of these warbirds, and people were flying them, and it was really pretty, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I found the one guy who's a growling sidewinder who's been doing DCS combat game videos on YouTube for like years and has like 1 billion followers. So I swear he uploads every 3 days, and it's like watching a new combat scene from a Top Gun movie. So if that's your thing, check it out. I have not played Squadrons yet, Raoul Duke. No, I'm not even sure. I think I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what it is. So I'll have to check that out. Oh, you know what? I need my... Rhonda, you forgot to remind me. I need my teal paint. I'm just kidding. I wasn't really expecting a reminder. There we go. I'm going to need a little teal paint. No, but I haven't played Squadrons yet, and honestly, all I really need to do is download, install, and set up DCS, but based on what I've seen, that is going to be like a 2 or 3 day process. You know, talk about learning new things. That'll be my can I really do this? And then I'll immediately just get shot down by some kid that's been playing it for the past 4 years. That's okay. I just want to try it. I just want to try it out. I'm not gonna go turning my entire downstairs into a flight sim cockpit. And I say that mainly because I know Stephanie's listening to this live stream. Oh, yeah, Star Wars. That's right. I know. Rhonda, God damn it. No. I love this community. Glendrop over on Twitch says, this is not the Falcon. Go to that flying city. Yeah, best spin. Lando system. So I'm going to just... It's going to be hard to see, but I am going to put the buildings in with this light teal. So it's kind of going to be a little bit like the Emerald City a little bit. But I'm just going to do the highlight sides of the buildings, right? There we go. Cool. Yeah, Squadrons. I did not play Squadrons, but way back in the day, I did play X-Wing Fighter and TIE Fighter, and I loved them. I'm shocked nobody has really done them justice since then. Squadrons, I guess, was pretty good, so I shouldn't say nobody, but I do very much miss those games. Cool. It's very hard to see. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. That's the only thing about these paintings. They're too small. I've got some bigger canvases coming up after this series, so yeah, we'll do that. I promise. All right, I'm getting some white again, and I'm trying to mix up a little bit of a nice color for the buildings. And a little white, and I'm going to need just a touch of water. But, you know, it's funny. As much as I like these kinds of simulation games, World of Warships, which I haven't really played in a year, unfortunately, although I really enjoy it, and I still have my USS Missouri. They won't take that away from me. PUBG, which I've actually started to play enough to the point where I might be able to actually live stream it for the first time ever. Yeah. Okay, this isn't going to be bright enough. My bad. I was afraid of that. It's just too much. I'm going to have to go white for the city. X-Wing for PC was the first PC I ever bought. That game was amazing. It was... I am stunned to this day. It's really... it was really nicely done. It was really fun gameplay, and it just really hit a lot of... You know, for those of us that were into that sort of thing... Poor Edie, she's never coming back again. She says she hates Star Trek and Star Wars, and that's all we've talked about the rest of the night. Sorry, Edie. Oh my god. I really wasn't doing it to be a dick, I promise. It just, you know, that's what it was. Squadrons is X-Wing with modern graphics and VR support, which is... Oh, VR. Ooh. Oh, I shouldn't touch VR. I really wanna... you have no idea how badly I want a VR, seriously. Okay. So I'm just going to get some dots of detail in here. The city is so tiny, and I painted the background so light that I'm really not going to get any major details in here, except maybe... Can I do the little jet beams that were coming down. I should. Yes. All right. I think you were saying you should do something else, but that's okay. All right. The thing is, I get this idea about playing games, and it sounds like fun, but then I just I have shit to do, and I feel bad about it. Okay, we're gonna do this one. And then I'm gonna do this. There we go. That's too much. Too much. We're just gonna do a nice little shimmer of a line, right? In the 1930s, Flash Gordon's Serial with Buster Crabbe and who played Ming the Merciless? He was in I'm gonna forget the man. Charles Middleton. He was the mean banker in I think It's a Wonderful Life or something like that, or Miracle on 34th Street maybe. But in that serial, the Cloud City had these light beams that were holding it up off the ground, and that's kind of what that's kind of the way they did it in the comic book. And I always kind of like that. And then when they did the Flash Gordon movie with Dino De Laurentiis and starring Sam Jones, they just kind of had like little sparklers off the bottom, and I didn't really like that as much. Oh, Star Trek Bridge Commander's fun in VR too. Oh my gosh, I've seen a few people playing Star Trek Bridge Commander. You'll never come back out, Chris. Addiction, I know. I don't think he's on tonight, but non-uniform Andrew, he has been working on some pretty fun VR explorations, and if maybe in the next few years we might do some collabs. We might do some collabing. So yeah. All right, so I feel pretty good about the city. Let's get some detail on this rocket, everybody. So yeah. He almost said guys again. I heard him. I know, I'm just bad habits, right? You know, that's the thing, is that I will be... oh, whoops, that was a mistake. VR sounds like fun to me. I actually did some pretty significant VR testing way back in the day when we were doing a racing game. The fidelity was nowhere near what it is now. So it truly was like instant vomiting if you weren't careful. Not that there's anything wrong with instant vomiting. Sorry, I'm mixing up a color here. There we go. Okay, cool. Never heard of that VR game, but I've seen the VR models of some of the classic ships. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Bridge Commander, in particular, is pretty nifty. I mean, I feel like from what I've seen of the gameplay, after a little bit, it gets kind of repetitive, as would the life of a Starship Commander. So yeah, in that regard, it's probably accurate. Okay, let's get some details on. I've got a mixture of white and I think yellow ochre. And with this, I'm gonna lay in some detail. We're gonna get the outline of the ship here, and get some details in. Remember, I said there's another wing on this side. That's it right there. And then this engine and body will come up here. This guy is kind of an engine-y cowl. There we go. Boop. There we are. And then we're going to do a little hint at detail. So yeah, we're going to do some it's like I said, Art Deco. I'm just going to draw in the details with this light colored paint right now, because it seems to really, it's going to give us some good places to paint. I feel like, you know, me drawing this is probably not a bad thing to do right now. So we're going to have the rocket cone off the back. It's going to be a pretty typical structure. And then the wing meets the body right here. I'm just going to give it a futuristic looking indent there. Give the wing some contour and a few details. There we go. Right now it looks like a gingerbread spaceship. I know, right? Maybe we have like a little end bit there. And then, of course, the pointy bit off the front. We'll have to make sure we render that one in a good dark color. And I do actually have already made a nice dark gray that I can work with right here. So we're just going to go for it. And the gray, when I say gray, it is pretty brown, but it does actually have some... It does actually have some blue in it. So there we go. Okay, let me see if I can get in some dark ones. Yeah, there's a little darker. It's not black, but it's it'll do nicely. We'll do that. We're going to get a little bit on the side down there. I think I'm just going to go over that. We'll darken this up. We'll darken this guy up. Inside of here. Yeah, there we go. A little bit on the underside there. We'll do things like windows and stuff shortly. I'm just going to try to get... I'm going to try to bring the rendering up on this one a little bit. Hollow addiction. Yeah, that's the word, right? Yeah. I'm going to try something with... I've got my my cadmium orange, so let me see if this is going to make this really sing. Oh, yeah. There we go. That'll do it. Yeah, we're going to do that. I 100% would have been the Star Trek character that was addicted to holograms. Yes. No dice. I would have just been like, forget it. Where's Chris? Yeah, you know, he's in building a new holo adventure. It's on some planet. But we're orbiting an alien planet. I know. I keep trying to tell him that. But, you know, he's got his thing. He's just doing his thing. He's, you know. That would be me. That would totally be me. No doubt. All right. I'm coming with some yellow here. The tones in this painting are so close together. I'm finding it very difficult to do a subtle transition on some of this stuff. So I'm gonna have to just like pull out the big guns. Yeah. I feel like I kind of, as nice as the pastels are, I've kind of boxed myself into a corner a little bit. But what I'm really happy about is I used a lighter gray here to give it a little atmospheric perspective. Haha! Claim that's just your way of doing mission reports. Create a holodeck version of the active missions. Exactly. See, now that's totally a Boimler thing, right? Oh my gosh. But yeah, I am with Edie on this one. You know, it frustrates me that movies like, you know, or books like A Mote in God's Eye, for instance, which maybe I should reread it again. Maybe it suffers from its age. I don't know, but it was a really cool story. Yeah. There's a time when the sun goes down that looks just like this painting. Beautiful lavenders and pink hues come out. Thank you, Raoul Duke. Yeah, that's my, that's like that golden hour they talk about. And, I am a fan, Raoul Duke. That's like my favorite part of the night, honestly. And I have tried in my landscape paintings and my Twilight Moon paintings to kind of capture this the colors are always just really amazing. There we go. I'm just going to have to go straight with white on this, I think. There we go. Yep. I think that's the way it's going to have to be. We'll get a little glint of light on here, too. There we go. And on these guys. There we go. It's showing up okay. We're getting there. We're getting there together, folks. I promise we will get there together. I want to get some, just some very light panel lines on this. And then some hints at windows. There's got to be like that B29 style window in the front. You know, that's important. And maybe some little lines through there. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Actually, when I look at it back over my shoulder, it's really kind of working. Now, let's get speaking of those lavenders and pinks, let's get some of that in here, huh? Got a little... Whoop. A little bit more, a little too much white. If I stop here, it's because I'm actually like using my brush to quickly mix up a quick color. I know I keep needing to do this. Get a palette cam so you can see what I'm doing. This is where you get to about that 2-hour mark, and some of your older paints are already starting to turn into goo. All right, give me a thing here. I'll just do that. All right, let's try this again. This is a combination of that lavender. It's that magenta and blue, and I'm gonna get some details in here with it. Oh, there's a thing on here. Yeah, cool, awesome. Because that will help us with the line. And there's going to be like little doorways. This is like that deck where all the guards came out right along there. We'll get some details in this side. This side is facing mostly the magenta, so we'll get some magenta in there. There we go. Getting it a little bit lighter so I can, yeah, that's what I wanted. I want to kind of halo this a little bit. I hate to do it like that, but it will show up better. As my friend Scott used to always say, he hated acrylics because when it starts to dry up, it starts turning into like that grocery bag plastic, and he's not wrong. It really does do that. It like turns into this crazy plastic. I'm throwing, this is really subtle and probably won't be visible on the camera, but I'm softening up some of the oranges with that purple, and hopefully it's gonna help kick that out a little bit. Alright, now I have a couple more dark details that I want to include. You have to have this little guy. There's a little pointy bit on there. We're going to get some dark details in the sides. And actually, I am going to use this is the only place I'm going to use black, is in this rocket ship. And I'm so glad I squeezed out enough black to fill the whole canvas. Yes, as was previously pointed out. Here we go. Okay, now I've got just straight black. I kind of want to get in some some nice details in here. Like in the sides. In this little alcove here. Maybe some bits under this wing. There we go. In between these little lines there. And underneath that. Gotta have some on this. A little bit on the wing here because, you know. Although the wing would be reflecting the sky, wouldn't it? Maybe I need to rethink this. I think this wing needs to be a brighter color. Yeah. I made this mistake a couple of weeks ago on my, or a couple of live streams ago. This wing's flat, and it's going to reflect basically the sky, so it needs to be lighter. I'm going to start with this color, this side too. There we go. And then we're going to brighten it up just a tad. We're going to brighten it up just a tad out here. Not that way, we're not. Yeah, I'm going to try to remember not to put as much paint out, and when I get to this stage, I'll just put more out. That's all I need to really do. There we go. We want to... Because, yeah, kind of like the above... all this above here, it's going to be reflecting... Really, the light in the sky is what it's going to be reflecting. So, yeah, we want to kind of pull this in. There we go. Yeah. That works a little better. Now I just have to deal with the, go back in and do some more. Where'd that one go? I have to darken this up a little bit because this is the bottom there. It gets a little confusing in my wing here, but we'll get it there. Okay. A little bit of white because that's kind of where I'm left going to. I don't have enough. I don't have enough range. I need the white. All right. Now, I turn it on its side here. Da-da-da. And I want to do the same thing I just did with... I want to do the same thing I did with the city, the Sky City thing. So I'm going to add in... I'm just going to use this... there we go. Okay, not quite there yet. There we go. I start with white so that I can, why did I start with white? Yeah, I start with the white so I can lighten it up, and then I'm going to fill it in with some color. Let me bash this out a little bit. There we go. Chiron 156. Whoa. Wolfgang. I bought acrylic paints and stuff, but I have no idea where to learn the basics of putting or painting on art paper. Any tips that I can go to and learn different brush strokes and things? Oh my gosh, yeah. Honestly, let me think about where I can send you for that. Actually, there are a ton of tutorials on YouTube, and YouTube University will be your friend. I think one of the simplest things you could probably just do. And let me fire. Oh, thank you. And I will say this emphatically. If you have art paper, you said art papers, so that leads me to believe you've got a stack of them, right? And so you have a few. I would I would treat your art papers like sketches. You know, if you have your sketchbook, and just fill it as much as you possibly can. That's tip number one. The single best way you can kind of get used to the life and dealing with painting is just, you got to paint a lot. You got to paint and draw a lot. I mean, you don't have to do it like religiously. You don't have to be like 60 hours a week painting, but just, you know, do as much as you can. So that's tip number one. I know it's not the technical tip. You probably already have that part. I would recommend... Here, I need to do a thing here. There we go. I need to do a little thing here, here, and here. I'm adding some blue to my exhaust. Just a little bit. There we go. My recommendation, Chiron, would be to literally take black and white and try to paint like a white sphere sitting on a table, on a white table. It's not going to be white. The table's not going to be white. It's going to be shades of gray. But if you can look online, I don't have one off the top of my head, but I guarantee you will find somebody has a tutorial on the principles of light falling onto a sphere. So if you could paint like, and you could do this on the same page too. You could do like 4. I don't know how big your papers are, but you could do 3 or 4. Just do like this size, little thumbnails. That is an excellent start, because even though you might get it horribly wrong, horribly wrong, it does a couple of things. One, you don't have to like spend a lot of brain power working on composition. You know your composition. It's a sphere sitting on a table. Yeah. Ba-da-bum-bum. Maybe you're further along than this. Thank you, Edie. I appreciate it. So forgive me. I'm not trying to be patronizing here. I'm really not, because the question can be a valid one. I know that that's a boring exercise, Chiron, and maybe you don't want to go a technical route like that, but what's kind of cool about it is you can sort of sit there and just be like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. It's acrylic paint. You're going to see when it's too thick, when it's too thin. You're going to see how long you can work with it before it dries. Thank you. Cool. Thank you. I hope that works. It's just really, I know a lot of people poo-poo these exercises. Not saying you did, but I know especially art students. I know this because I was one. And you bet your ass I poo-pooed this stuff. It's like, I'm not drawing a sphere, I swear. Probably one of the single best breakthrough moments for me as a painter was in my color theory class, and I painted a photorealistic apple, as photorealistic as we could get, and you had to do it twice in cool colors and warm colors. I liked them both, but Rhonda will be thrilled to know that I did a cool version and a warm version, and it was good. It was very good. So yeah. Angela Anderson has some great videos on brush strokes. Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Yeah, absolutely. I think I feel like even if you get bored with that and just want to try a scene, honestly, I don't know what you like to paint, but you can pick a couple of Bob Ross videos. That's a cliche, I know, but what's nice about Bob Ross is that he paints in a style that is very fast, right? Even if you don't, I wouldn't try to follow along exactly, because that guy has always like practiced his paintings before he did them like 3 times. Yeah. And then they made you eat it. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. So this is very helpful for switching to a new art interface medium. Thank you. I hate to say that practice is going to be your best friend, but it really would be. My third piece of advice I like painting in these small canvases like this, and they're fun. I wouldn't go much smaller than this because there becomes a real issue with this is like literally the smallest brush that I'm willing to devote to my live stream because I'm brutal on them and I'll destroy them. But just getting fine detail on this painting starts to become a hassle, especially when your paint starts to kind of set up. You'll know what you'll learn what I mean shortly. Yeah. Anyway. So working on a little larger subject is actually going to help you more, and painting with a larger brush will probably help you more. So that's tip number 3. And my last and final tip, and this one I got from several instructors. When you have a range of paint brushes, with this probably being my largest and this one being my smallest, you'll note that I started with the biggest brush. And I kind of worked myself backwards to forwards on this painting. And it was, so background clouds, and then foreground and rocket ships, so that each layer dries. You always start with a big painting, block in your shapes, and then that's where you, even if you screw it up, you've got some happy accidents to work with. Yeah, so those are the short ones. And congratulations on getting acrylics. I hope you have a blast with them. It's really fun. Ross made wet and wet look like a lot easier than it actually is. Oh my gosh! You aren't kidding, Edie. It's actually, and that actually ties. I just noticed Chiron's other question. Are you sure Bob Ross isn't already too advanced? Yeah, Edie's absolutely correct. He really makes wet on wet painting look easy. One of the reasons I don't do a lot of oil painting on my live stream is because if you want to do a painting like the one I just did here, it's a struggle to do with the detailed work. I could probably do the background and the clouds just fine, even with all the craziness going on. I would have struggled with these areas because oil paint takes so long to dry. And he really does make it look very easy. I would say that what Bob Ross has done is he keeps the detail level pretty abstract, so he can cruise through and do a billion trees in a minute. And he's got a lot of practice. He's practiced. So I would look at it for inspiration in terms of the how you want to start and layer painting. You'll start seeing some patterns, like I just said: background, foreground, and background, midground, and foreground. Yeah. But yeah, the wet on wet painting with oil painting. Oh man, it can be a disaster. And even in acrylic paints, I was at Art Battle in Seattle a couple of times, and the first time I was there, it was great. Everything kind of worked out. But the second and third times, I slopped so much paint on my canvas, I got a little too excited. And when you get enough acrylic paint on a canvas, yeah, it's like having wet oil paint. Nothing works the way you want it to. I work pretty thin and dry on most of these. Yeah, keep a spray. Yeah, get a spray bottle to keep the acrylic. Yes, I use the spray bottle not only just for my. Actually, here, let me just do this while we're kind of here. So this is my glass palette. I will not just only. Sometimes I'll spray to keep the piles wet, but like when I'm mixing a new color. Like if I want to grab some of my white here that's already drying up, I'll put in some water and just kind of get it to a point. You get a feel for the texture and level of detail. You have to really thin down these thicker acrylics too. I don't want it to be as thin as ink, which that is right there. Actually, this would be perfect for flicking stars. But yeah, I keep a little spray bottle handy. I love using this glass. This is just a piece of tempered glass. Because, when you're done at the end of the night, you can just kind of take a razor blade and it comes right off. So, especially when it's wet, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And you're ready to go again. Pretty nifty. Oh, don't worry if you don't have a spray bottle. Just keep water handy. That's good enough, too. Yeah. Awesome. Good times. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy for the spray bottle either. I mean, honestly, I think I picked mine up for $5 or something like that at a like at a Rite Aid or something. Yeah. So those are some fun tricks, yeah. And you're welcome to stop around. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a line. You know, I'm on. I don't think my Discord is being shared. Unfortunately, I have to figure that out. Why isn't CloudBot working properly? I'll get that here soon. But yeah, feel free to shoot me a line. Very fun. I wanted to get some more white because I want to come in and get some highlights here if I can. Oh, it's very, very difficult. But I think that it's pretty necessary. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to get... I need some new titanium white. I think that that's what I just need to do here. But yeah, I do regret that I don't have... that I don't have a camera directly on my my palette here. I need to probably do that. Nice. Oh, Klendrop! Should have done that, but now everyone's falling out of the city. Yeah, right? Everyone's gonna just be like, no, you put your brush on me! Giant brush, knock me out! Yeah, sure thing, anytime. And the best thing, too, is have fun with it, you know? If you really like anime, paint anime. If you really like spaceships, paint spaceships. People, same thing. Paint what you like, honestly. Look up the artists that you admire. Yeah. Oh, do I varnish my paintings? Yes, good question. Thank you for the question there, Edie. I do. I varnish my paintings before I ship them. They're not all in a finished state already. Like, I have to sit down and varnish a bunch of our live stream paintings, Edie. I do varnish them. There's varying opinions on which varnish people like. I like to do kind of a gloss varnish on mine because I feel that the gloss picks up the color quite a bit. And that, to me, is the key. The acrylic paint and oils, too, a lot of them will dry to a matte finish. Actually, I think... yeah, you paint paint. Can you paint paint? You do, yes. I do varnish my painting, yeah. The biggest reason why, I didn't used to do it, but the biggest reason why is that, like, this color will dry matte, this one will dry gloss. When you look at the painting, it kind of messes with your eyes, and then after these paintings dry, they kind of oxidize a little bit, so the colors get muted. When you put a layer of clear over it, whether it's satin, matte, or gloss like I do, it unifies the surface. The other way I used to do it was just use straight, I don't have any here, I just use some straight clear acrylic medium. That's another way to kind of unify the look without doing an official varnish. The nice thing about varnishes is, like if you use an artist varnish, they're designed to be removed later easily without damaging the paint underneath them. So I've been using, Gamblin makes a varnish called Gamvar. That's Gamvar. And I really like that one. It's it needs terpenoid or turpentine to melt it. Solvent as a solvent. It needs a turpentine solvent to clean brushes and all that stuff. Terpenoid's good. It's odorless. That's what I do have that here. So if you have some of this around for your oil painting, you can use it for your Gamvar. But yeah, I really like it because it's nice and self-leveling. You know, you make sure you don't have a dusty environment. Varnish your paintings, and it's a hassle, Edie. I mean, kind of a hassle, except it's fun when you get set up. I have some photos laying around when I had like 20 paintings I was doing at once, and honestly, that moment that you like see your painting there and you're like, yeah, it faded a little bit, but I still like it, and then you pour the varnish on and kind of brush it on over. It's really cool. It's really neat. Oh, every artist you've asked uses Gamvar. It's popular. It's a very good resin-based varnish. Now, my good friend Rafi Perez and Klee, they for their paintings, I think he's using. I know he gets it from Home Depot. This is another approach. You can use like a glossy varnish that you would use on floors, like any kind of acrylic or polyester varnish. You can use any of those, and they're cheaper. Same principles. You'll probably still have to do cleanup with some kind of a solvent, but it's a good practice, and I find that I really like how they look. It really makes them look finished. So yeah, I I've gone through about 3 or 4 the big bottles of Gamvar since I've been doing this, and just every year or so I queue up and buy another one. It's a little pricey, but it goes a long way. It really does. Awesome. Well, I kind of feel like, oh, I know what I needed to do. More in the whites. Maybe I need this. Let's just get a little couple of dots here for the flames of the city, if you will. There we go. Yeah. I feel like I'm actually to a point where I probably can call this one. I'm pretty happy with this. I just want to get some. Ooh, I want to get a couple of like dots of our bright on there and on here. Cool. Alrighty. Kind of digging this one, everybody. This has been a fun painting. I think I'm gonna go with my magenta and some white for my signature. Unfortunately, with this painting, we're not gonna be doing any stars, so no star flicking. I'm so sorry, but no, I really enjoyed this little revisit to one of my earlier paintings. I did something kind of similar to this the first summer I was live streaming, and it's always been one of my personal favorites. Never sold the original. Thank you. Hey, Gold Dragon. Sorry I missed you, pal. Thank you. I don't know if you dropped in earlier. I'm not sure, but I'm going to get the old signature Reno on it. There we go. Thank you, everybody. And I'm trying to paint my signature really small so it doesn't like show up too big on this little thing. It's a tiny little canvas. And there we go. Approaching Cloud City. No. Yeah, that's right. There's a sun, so that can count as a star. That's true. Usually, though, at the end of I'm doing space, so I come in and do a little star flicking. But this is one of the rare occasions there are no stars upon Mars. That's it. We're done. Hey, how fun! I'm actually pretty happy with this little painting, and I actually carried it over to the side. So if you were to look at this, it would kind of continues over. I've been enjoying these. How fun. New floating Jersey. Hey, we're going to stop by and get a couple of dogs. Come on. I know they got a pork roll sandwich there. I'm pretty sure. I'm doing my best, Jersey. I'm sorry, Max. And I'm sorry, Edie. For all of you that live in the area. I'm just learning. I'm just learning my New York speak. Yes. Awesome, everybody. Well, hey, cool. We've got it. We've had another fun night here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you to everybody on Twitch for joining. Remember, we are moving to YouTube, so thank you so much. So I'm doing dual streams next week, Friday and Wednesday. Wednesday and Friday again, same time. After that, I'm gonna just pull the trigger, and we're gonna switch entirely over to YouTube. I've been thrilled with the Twitch community, and thank you everybody that follow me over from Twitch. I really appreciate it. It's good. We're gonna have a good time, and I gotta tell you, it's taking off. It's taking off in a way I haven't seen in the beginning, and that's all thanks to all of you. So I really appreciate it. Excellent. Yeah. Was it New Yorkies? New Yorkies? I know, it's like, hey, I'm walking here. Get out of my way, I'm walking here. I get most of that from Goodfellas, I'm pretty sure. Anyhow, so I'm really excited. We're going to have some fun. We got the ball rolling here. Yay! Thank you, everybody. I will. I'm checking out now, and I'll have this posted on my social media here probably over the weekend, and we'll be. I'll be letting you know how it goes next week. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter as Blackbird CD. I post over there. I'm also on Facebook as Space Art by Christopher Dahl, and of course, subscribe here if you haven't. That'd be fantastic. Also, I do have a number of videos that I've uploaded in the past. Some of my past live streams. The quality and the editing I've gotten better over the time. But if any of you are interested. Any amount of watching my old videos will help me get monetized, so feel free to dive in and grab one. That'd be really cool. Awesome. 1 p.m. in New Zealand. I thank you very much, David. I really appreciate you sticking it out and sharing your morning with us here. That's awesome. Thank you. Anyhow, cool. Wait a second. Oh, this is the first YouTube you caught the tail end of. Awesome. Very cool. Yes, the Vulcan salute. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, folks. Take care. Have a safe week. We'll catch y'all next Wednesday. Peace out. Bye-bye. I'll need my mouse. Awesome. Paintings are fun. I have barely any blue on this painting this week.